Ryhope Beach, on the southern edge of Sunderland. George Garbutt, writing in 1819, had this to say: "The village of Ryhope has for some years past been frequented by several respectable families during the summer season, in order to enjoy the delightful exercise of sea bathing. For which purpose, he tells us, the beach was admirably adapted, on account of the hardness of the sands and the absence of rocks." Well, things change over a couple of centuries. For one thing, ongoing erosion means that there are a lot more rocks now, and a lot less cliffs. Looking northwards, Jane Jivison's Rock. You're probably wondering who Jane Jivison was, and why she has a rock named after her. Was she a historical character? Or maybe a mermaid? Or even the name of a ship, wrecked on the rock? Nobody knows. Neither history nor legend have anything to say on the subject. But the main reason we're here is this trickle of fresh water making its way between the pebbles to the sea, which arrives on the beach via this waterfall. The stream is known as the Black Water, and there is a reason for that, which we'll touch on later. Suffice to say, it almost certainly wasn't known as that when Garbutt's respectable families were frequenting this spot, but I've not found any other names for it. So Blackwater it is. Let's follow it inland. This is the last few feet of the stream, before it launches itself onto the beach. I'm sure I once read somewhere that the Anglo-Saxons believed that genius loci, the local spirits of place, often manifested themselves as robins. This might be the god of the stream. At this point we have to leave the Blackwater for a while, as it heads into a tunnel under the railway line and adjacent bypass. Meanwhile, we've got a tunnel of our own to navigate. But before we do, see that LS and SR stands for the Londonderry, Seaham and Sunderland Railway. A long-gone bit of railway history. Okay, let's do it. Ryhope Village. Blue block alert. Ryhope Village green. Trees. A war memorial. Possibly a couple of ghosts. And an old drinking fountain, incorporating a horse trough. You'll want to know about the ghosts. This green is supposed to have been haunted by a shade resembling a small sturdy man, which wears a black skull cap and carries a pick and candle as it glides across the green. Reaching the center of the green, it places the candle on the ground, and then with a loud wailing noise begins to dig. Eventually it fades downwards into the ground. The imagery of the pick and candle suggests something symbolic of the early days of coal mining. There's also vague reports of a ghostly white lady, clutching a baby and sobbing. That was supposed to appear in the vicinity of the drinking fountain. The name Ryhope is said to derive from Anglo-Saxon, meaning rough valley. I don't know about you, but that looks like a rough valley to me. Right on the edge of the original Ryhope Village. This is probably the landscape feature that named the place. And down there, the Blackwater flows onwards towards the sea. The Blackwater passes under the road here. Now, another ghost story, and this one is personal. About 20 years ago I was walking along here, towards Sunderland. It was about 5:30 on a January evening, dark and cold. At about the place where the road crosses the stream, I had the sudden overwhelming feeling that someone, or something, was right behind me, and that its intentions were not benign. Extremely menacing, is how I'd describe the feeling. The feeling was so real that I stopped and turned round. Nothing to be seen, but the action of turning to face whatever it was seemed to cause the feeling of menace to dissipate. T.C. Lethbridge, the dowser and archaeologist, had the theory that running water could, under certain conditions, sort of record and store intense emotions expressed close to it. And, again under certain conditions, it could replay them to anyone in its vicinity. He called these negative emotion recordings ghouls. I think that's what I encountered at this spot. Perhaps something emotion-generating once took place here. A robbery, assault, rape, or maybe even just someone fearing it was on the cards would be enough to imprint it on the stream. Anyway, here is where the Blackwater enters the pipe under the road. Not much resemblance the bright little stream we saw nearer to the sea, is there? I think this is private land, so we won't try to follow the course along its banks. In any case, it's pretty much choked with brambles along this stretch. Instead, we'll head for the high ground. This path runs along the course of a railway track that connected Ryhope Colliery with the main line. From up here we can get some idea of the river valley. Once upon a time, our little stream must have been a wide river. St. Paul's Church. Okay, I've come down to stream level again, in search of the pipe it issues from. Not a chance of finding it. It's in there somewhere. I'll bet no one has seen it for years. There is still a trickle of water here. Underground now, the stream continues along here. And it crosses under the road. Those manhole covers look significant. The underground stream runs to the left of the path here. This is the site of Ryhope Colliery, opened in 1857 and closed in 1966. And basically it was the colliery that gave the Blackwater its name. It seems wastewater from the pit baths, and probably other processes, was emptied into it, bringing with it a lot of coal dust, which transformed into a black sludge. Sounds nice, doesn't it? I think the ridge up there was where a Halifax bomber crashed in 1944, killing the pilot and an unlucky miner on his way to work. The stream continues to the left of the building. A memorial to Ryhope Colliery, made from the pit's winding gear. Things get a little more complicated here, so I've had to resort to dowsing to find the route of the stream. It seems to flow between those trees. And then, that away. The original lay of the land round here must have seen many changes. Probably once a continuation of the old rough valley ran across here. Then the land was leveled for the colliery. And apart from the colliery, there was much other industrialization here. Railway sidings, a gasometer, coke ovens, a couple of reservoirs. All of these helped to reshape the land. Then all that was torn down, and the ground was landscaped again. My dowsing pendulum suggests a slight change of course here. Well, this is interesting. My pendulum suggests that this is the source of the black water. And significantly, it seems to correspond with the site of one of the reservoirs from the days of the colliery site. There are what seem to be the remains of earth banks, which could have been part of the reservoir. It makes sense. If you have a reservoir, you need some way to fill it. So possibly the source of the Blackwater was co-opted, and afterwards piped down to the colliery, before returning to its original course further down. I can't see any outlet, but it may well be buried, only allowing a limited amount of water to seep through. Still, a source is a source. And this little pool seems to be the start of a journey which culminates in the waterfall onto the beach. Quite a magical location in its own way. And a fitting place to end this video. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the journey.